Hello, I'm Professor Ken Hardy, creator of the Learning from Leaders course, with Linda Hasenfratz, who's Ivey MBA 97 and CEO of Linamar Manufacturing. She joined Linamar in 1990, and she spent the last 22 years in that company, rising to be CEO. She became CEO in 2002, and in 10 years has taken the company from 800 million in sales to almost 3 billion in sales. She has recently announced that she's interested in the next 8 years in taking that to 10 billion in sales. So welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
What was your biggest single learning experience around your own leadership?
Well, certainly the biggest challenge that I experienced was living through the recession of 2008-2009 and how that affected us as an organization. I mean, we dropped 25% in revenue, overnight. Went from 12,000 employees to 7 actively working. We had another 1,500 or so on layoff. Temporary layoff at the time, but and today we're almost 17,000, and that's only 3 years later. So we've gone through a massive
rehiring
transition, up, down, and way up again, and so that's been a huge challenge to manage through, and I think the way that we tried to do it was by really accelerating the communication to our people about what was going on and why and what it meant to them, to our shareholders about the same things, to customers, suppliers, communities, and really make sure everybody understood what was happening. And I felt like that helped to kind of take the fear and uncertainty out of the situation. Nobody liked the fact that the guy that used to stand next to them was no longer standing next to them. Nobody feels good about that. I mean, the impact to our people and their families was very tough to manage through. But we knew that we needed to right size to the sales level that we saw, and nobody knew how long it was going to take to recover. So you needed to take the tough decisions. I mean, that was an example of a time that, tough decision making, but you needed to go down that route. And then again, communication, of what the plan was. I mean, we had a three-pronged approach. We were going to cut costs, we were going to conserve cash, and we were going to grow. So, and that last piece was so key, because we said we're not going to cut our way out of this problem. We're going to grow our way out of it. So even as we were aggressively, right-sizing and reducing cost and finding every single area we could to reduce cost, we were aggressively out there looking for new business, looking for opportunities where, maybe a company had failed and we could take over that job, put it on this equipment that was idle because, sales were down so much, and, bring some of those people back from layoffs. So that was such an important element, and I think really key to how we've accelerated our growth subsequent to the recession, in that we really increased our market share, so that when volume started to improve, our growth accelerated.
You've in fact been aggressive.
Yes.
And that's great.
I would agree, and of late there's been lots of criticism of Canadian companies not investing and not taking chances, and I really don't think that's true in many cases. There may be some companies that are being a little bit more cautious, but I mean, I look at our own organization. This is 2012 will be the peak year of capital expenditures in our history.
Fantastic.
So, and my bankers can attest that I'm spending every penny that I earn and then some. So we're not sitting on any piles of cash, but we've got $2.3 billion worth of work that we're launching right now. I mean, we've got a lot of exciting opportunities right here in Canada, as well as in other parts of the world, whether it be Mexico, Europe, China, the U.S. So a lot of exciting things going on, and we continue to invest And of course, you know, times are a little uncertain, and we're, you know, aware of that and cautious about it. But we also feel that, you know, the time is right to take advantage of opportunities. And just like there was opportunities in 2009 because of the recession, so too will there be opportunities in the next few years in pockets of the world. Europe, a good example, where you know, there's some tough headwinds.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I have to ask you a little bit about the boards you're on. In 2004, you joined the CIBC board, one of Canada's 5 largest banks, and now I see in your bio you're also a board member of Faurecia, which I think is a French company. How do you manage all that, and what have you learned from your board memberships?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's tough to fit that external board work into your time, but I think it's really important to do so. I mean, I've learned a lot from my time on the board at CIBC. You know, they're a very large organization. You know, we aspired to be of similar size, so I can learn a little something about you know, managing a much larger organization from them, and I feel it keeps me very plugged in terms of what's going on in the economy, what's going on in credit markets, and you know, in terms of M&A and what's happening in that world. So that's, you know, I feel like I'm getting as much as I give. And similarly with Faurecia, you know, they're yes, headquartered in France, but they're a global auto parts company, you know, 15 billion euro in size. So again, very large, multinational. I can learn a lot from how they've managed and grown their business and how they strategize for the future. But importantly, it also has given me the opportunity to develop relationships in Europe, which is an area that we would like to grow our business despite the headwinds. We think there's a lot of opportunity in Europe for us. So establishing relationships with key automotive players and commercial vehicle players in Europe is very important, and this has given me an avenue to do so. So again, I feel like I'm getting as much as I give. So, and I think that kind of higher level relationship building and insight into industries and economies is important for a CEO to do in order to help ensure that the strategies and vision that, you know, I'm trying to put together make sense. You know, if you're too insular and too, you know, focused on your own organization, you may not be as aware of what's going on in the world around you. So, you know, keeping plugged in means better strategies and you know, better chance for success.
Linda, you've been an amazing success. Linamar has been an amazing success, and we wish you continued success, and now we can see why.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.